Hello guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to maximize your gear in Last War. Obviously there are four different styles of gear. There are the green, the blue, the purple, and then what everybody wants is the gold, right? So everyone wants to have that level 40 maxed out gear, but for some people it is kind of a long road to get all of this gold gear made and then even leveled up. One of the very first things that we're going to talk about today is just deconstructing or dismantling all of the gear that you guys have probably assembled. I know for some of you guys that might be kind of hesitant because you think you're going to lose a lot of power, and yeah, from the beginning you might, but a lot of it's kind of like that fake power that's really unnecessary to begin with in the first place. So the very first thing that I would recommend everybody do, depending if you have any gold gear built already. If you don't, then my first step would be to go to all of your squad 1 and ensure that this is where you're going to put all of the gear that you have right now in the slot, so that at least your first squad has some gear. What I would recommend is on your heroes in your first squad that they all have at least one level 0 purple. Now, I know some of you guys have probably already gone through and upgraded some of your blue and purple gear from whenever you first started out in the game. That's totally fine. It's normal, but going forward, I would not use any purple or blue gear going forward ever. The only purpose of them is to deconstruct it so that you can make gold gear. Okay, so after you guys go through, and the best way to do it, guys, in the beginning process is kind of annoying at the beginning, is just to literally go through and just see what you have. If you have any gold gear, you need to prioritize that on your main squad. You want to put your Thors on your damage dealers and your defensive armors and your radars on your tanks. So after you unequipped all of them, and it's very simple, you just come in here, you'll click on a piece and hit remove. Okay, I'm going to use this piece of gold gear here as an example because that thing is all the way leveled up and it actually already has one of the segments for past level 40. And you're going to come in here to your gear factory and you are going to hit the hammer and you're going to go to the dismantle tab. So now what you guys are probably used to is you see this blue here that's level 0. So all it's going to give you is that 40 blue material. But what happens is that gear that you guys already have, you guys might have some level 30 or level 20 or level 15 purple or blue gear. It doesn't really matter. But when you select on that and dismantle, you're going to see everything that's going to give you back. So, for example, this level 40 gear that I already have leveled up to one more segment here, if I were to deconstruct this, I'm going to get 1,500 of the ceramics back. I'm going to get my 5 legendary blueprints back, and I'm going to get 257,000 of the upgrade ore. Right now, obviously, you guys are not going to deconstruct any of your gold gear. That's kind of why we're here. But I just wanted to show you guys that if I were to dismantle this gear, you're not just losing out. You're not losing anything that you've already had. The only thing you're going to have is you're going to have a very temporary drop in gold gear to start off with. But you're going to be able to take all of that purple and blue gear that you deconstructed. You're going to get all that upgrade ore back. Well, I've already instructed a lot of people in my alliance to do this and make them much stronger, especially at the lower HQ levels. And then after you guys have dismantled all of that gear, you're going to have an abundance of the materials that you need. So you're going to have a ton of, the bolts, the green, blue, purple, and go on forward. Most of the people in my alliance, once I've instructed them to do this, and they've taken the leap and trusted me, what happens is they're going to have, in most cases, at least enough of the dielectric ceramics to make at least 1 or 2 pieces of gold gear. And then what they're also going to be able to do is they're going to have enough of this upgrade ore to start upgrading the gear that they should be upgrading. A lot of people think that they think they should just spread the love around all of their squads. I completely disagree. I think the most important thing in this game is to have one squad that is incredibly powerful, And then once, you know, you're going to put all of your main investments into your first squad. And then you want to, at the same time, while you're upgrading that gold gear, as I am now, so for example, right now I am currently upgrading my radar on my second tank because I don't have Williams leveled all the way up to star level to replace Scarlet right now. But my mission right now is to upgrade these radars to level 40 and then move on to my chips, right? So as of right now, I already have a level 40 Thor on my Kim. She's my main damage dealer. I've got a level 40 Thor on my Stetman. He's my second damage dealer. I have a level 40 radar on Murphy. And then I'm working on the level 40 radar for Scarlet right now. It's at level 33. And as you can see previously, I did go and do it. I told us not to do at the very beginning. And I went through and leveled a bunch of my gold gear up to, you know, other levels to get the initial bonus. But the main thing you have to realize is that whenever you are deconstructing all this purple gear, you guys are going to get scared. Like, oh no, I'm going to lose a bunch of power. My squads aren't going to be as powerful. But realistically, one Thor, one level 0 gold Thor is more powerful and gives you more, is going to be more beneficial to you than all of the level four gears that, or all of the purple gears in each of the slots on that same tune. Literally deleting all 4 of those and putting one piece of Thor on there is going to kind of make it a wash on your power. And then it's just only going to get exponentially stronger, right? So after you guys have gone through and done all of that, the next step of what I would do is I would ensure that your main squad has 5 Thors, right? After you make all the Thors, it's kind of go on the, you know, what you think is best. What I would recommend after you get all of your first squad, your gold Thors, is then to go and create 2 radars. And the reason why I'll show you why here in a second is I would make the 2 radars for your tanks. And then I would go back and start creating your chips and put those back on your damage dealers. Usually, you know, your Kim, of course, priority number 1. She's the strongest damage dealer in the game. And then over to, like I said, the chips for Kim and then Stetman or maybe Mason or whoever your other damage dealer is, maybe DVA if that's who you have. And then after the chips, I would come back and then I would start putting the chips back on kind of all the tunes, and then putting the radars on the other tunes as well. And then I would put the armor as kind of the reactive armor as the last priority item, because it does help with your defense, but realistically what it's really there for is the physical damage. And for most people in the game, their most powerful squad is going to be their tanks, of course, because that's kind of how everything starts out. That's how the game kind of starts us out. You want to have your tanks kind of all in one because you want to have this bonus here. It gives you a boost of additional 20% attack HP in defense by having that. And then from there, you move on to your second squad, and you just want to keep creating all of your gear. So for example, for me, my whole first squad, so I have, you know, Murphy, Kim, Marshall, Stetman, and then I use Scarlet as my second tank, all golded out. And now on my second squad, I've already got all of them their Thors. All of their Thors, their chips. I'm making the last chip right now, and then I'm going to go through and make the radars for the tanks, and then the radars for my damage dealers, and then I'm going to go through and start putting the armors on the other tunes. So, because really the armor, it's nice, it's ideal, but the reason why I would say focus on your radar is if you come to the radar, and I'll go to Murphy since this is all the way leveled up, you're getting that massive hero defense increase, but you're also getting a 10%, if you have it all the way level up to level 40, after level 20, level 40, you're going to have a 20% resistance to energy damage. And why that's important is, it's because if you look at the most popular damage dealer, which is Kim, her skills are all energy, right? So this boosts her energy damage, boosts her, you know, her little ultimate special ability with all the rockets is energy damage. And then her main auto attack is also energy damage. And then the same with Stetman, is all of his damage that he does is energy in most cases. So you want to ensure that you can try to, that your tanks are blocking the right type of damage, right? Because if in most cases, if you're going up against other tank squads and Enemy Buster and Winter Storm and Desert Storm, having that reactive armor isn't as important right now. That's more important for the later game when you're starting to go against missiles and aircrafts. So that is kind of the way that I would start. I would prioritize Thors number 1, your radars and your chips for number 2, and then the reactive armor being the last. And then after you have bolted out your first squad, start doing your second squad. But as you guys can see for me, even my second squad, someone like Tesla here, I have them on gold pieces on them, but I'm not upgrading them. I'm saving all of that ore for my squad 1. And then once I have all my squad 1, all of their gear up to level 40, then I will move on to upgrading either them past level 40, using the blueprints, or I will go through and start upgrading, all of my squad 2, right? For me, my next personal goal is to get a really powerful aircraft squad because they counteract and do take the least damage from tanks, and deal 20% more damage to tanks. So that is kind of my strategy, and then missiles are going to be my last priority. But it takes a lot of time, but it's best to get started off at the very beginning, because in most cases, crafting this gear, for example, I just started crafting another piece earlier. It's going to take a little bit over a day to craft it. So you want to be able to really start pumping this stuff out. In my next video, I'm going to kind of go over what it takes and how to get that gear pretty quickly, and it's going to do with your trucks, and then plundering those trucks and looking for those specific trucks that have the pieces that you need, and kind of taking your time, ensuring that you look for these purple epic gear chests. You can even find chests that have, or some trucks that have 2 or even 3 of those, and that's really where you're going to get a lot. You're going to be able to get 37 pieces of ceramic from deconstructing 1 piece. So for example, I think I have an epic gear chest in my inventory right now. If I use it, gives me a piece of armor, and I literally just take it over here to the gear factory and I just dismantle it every single time, and then I merge them all together. It still does take some time, but for me, I'm pretty much every single day crafting a new piece of gear, and that's going to really help build up the power rather than investing all of your points into that blue and purple gear. But as I said at the beginning, if you already have invested ore into that, it's no big deal. You can just deconstruct them and you'll get all of that gear back. Okay? Well, thank you guys. Murph out from server 962. I am part of the Honor Alliance. Shout out to my squad. We're looking forward to creating more videos for you guys. Let me know if there's anything you guys need in the comments, or if there's anything that you guys would recommend that I would change. I still am only 2 months into the game, but I have learned a lot, and I'm starting to create these videos to help out a lot of my alliance so that we can continue to grow and get stronger. So have a good one, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Have a happy new year.